Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Project Hospital, and welcome back to me reopening the Infectious Diseases series, because things and stuff has been happening in the world of Project Hospital. There has been a large free update to the game, and there's a whole list of things that they have done, updated, changed, tweaked, fixed, a huge list. I recommend you go and have a good old read of that, or pause the video here so that you can have a read, but also they have added a couple of insurance companies. About time, eh? I'm really excited for this. So we've got the infectious diseases. They've added an insurance policy for that department. They've also added an insurance policy for the traumatology department as well. So we'll have more to do on our traumatology series as well. However, we are here in infectious diseases for the time being. So what we're going to do is enable this one here. And they've made it now that you can have 4 insurance policies at one time, which is going to help rebalance this game a little bit, because of course we've been adding departments, but we've not been able to increase the patient intake. So we've had greater outgoings in staff that we're employing, but most of the departments are largely empty. So this is really nice that we can now that we have new insurance policies, and we can actually get some more people in through the door. So yes, we are going to start our infectious diseases insurance policy, and our first one here is treat 5 patients per day at the infectious diseases department, which I think will be fine. So we're going to be doing that. And the other thing is, finally I have had a human malware outbreak in the city, which is the first time I've played this game around 200-300 hours since, possibly even more, since I got the infectious diseases DLC, and never had this, even though I kept triggering emergency events and that, never got it. So we gave up at the end of the series. I was like, that's it, I'm not playing this anymore. Well, as soon as this update's out and I start up the game, the first thing that happened was this. So not quite sure what to expect, but we are going to accept and take over all patients on that. So we're definitely going to do that. At least the department's built, right? The department is very large, so I don't think the insurance policy is going to take too long, because we're already up and running. And look, we've already done the first one. Objective for insurance company has been completed. Treat 5 patients. So apparently that's done. What's the next one then? The next one is done. Objective for insurance company has been completed. Enable hospitalization for infectious diseases. So we've done that. And what are we up to now? So it says finish 3 epidemic events, and we've of course just had one kick off. I still haven't built anything in here yet. This is going to be our emergency overflow ward. I'm still deciding quite how I want to make that operate, but we're on it. What is this? Some sort of surgery has finished. Lovely. Okay, what is this? I do have a few bits going on. Are you... Oh, she's had a scan. We do have a few bits going on. As you can see, I do have some patients here. But I think for this episode, we will solely concentrate on the emergency patients that are coming in. So it definitely seems that they are all going to be coming in through the front door to reception. Yeah, look. Here they are. Here they all come. So that's not great. That's not great at all. This room is going to fill up. Be interesting to see if it does spread between patients in waiting rooms. It never used to, but I know that they're sort of upping the spread rate so that it does cause problems in other areas. But I'm not sure if this is one of them just yet. Certainly didn't used to, but it might do now. So it will be interesting to find out. Seems they're all coming into emergency as well, so that's slightly the wrong department for us. They are all coming into the wrong place. That's okay. That is okay though. We do have more offices here to deal with it, whereas we only have one infectious disease doctor over here. So this is going to be a tricky old business as we try and filter them through, but yeah, I think we are going to have to utilise emergency. At least it's the middle of the day as well. It's not morning, so, you know, the main rush of the day is over. Right, we are starting to get our emergency patients in. We've got a new icon here, a case from an event. So they've added a new little icon here to make these a little bit easier to see, which is nice. So we need to do an interview here. We can see that he has a fever. So let's see what the physical... We'll find like the quickest way of being able to diagnose this, if we can, and then just start repeating that pattern across the board without sort of extensive testing would be really, really nice. Well, John here is part of our emergency situation. Yeah, look, we need hydration and a physical on him right away. Look, so's Daniel here. Okay, rehydration. There we go. So the physical is done for James here, and actually it seems like it's not human malware, but something else entirely. It could be a common cold. It could be a common cold. Let's have a look at our symptoms here. So a really good way of finding the common cold, it seems, is going to be a nasal cavity inspection, and then this respiratory here would be a proper test. But if we do the nasal cavity search and it comes back negative, then it must be this here, saving us doing an RT-PCR test. So that would be useful. Right, Carol here is the first to confirm as having it. So what we're going to do, diagnose it. We are going to give her something for that right here, I think, just to bring that temperature down. Okay, and then we're going to send her there and put her in isolation. This emergency could very well have me having to build my overflow ward, which I've not actually built yet, but I can see that happening for sure. I can. So we've got a Susan Davis here, another hydration issue that we need to deal with. Okay, how's James White getting along? That's what we want to know over here. How's he doing? So many. Look, there's so many. Oh, she's part of the emergency. Look, this one's all right. We'll give her something for her breathing. And she will need those antibiotics. She does have an unknown. So we probably should also do some testing, a physical. We'll take her temperature. You know, we'll see if that helps find that symptom. Daniel Harris has been rushed in. Here he is. Let's see, what can we do for him? Yeah, instantly bring down his temperature. And get him some oxygen as well. That's going to be the first thing that we do there. I already make sure that my trauma... oh, look, there's somebody on the floor here as well. I already make sure that my trauma department wear masks. So that's sort of taken care of. Oh, look, then the nasal cavity inspection has confirmed he has the common cold. So we are going to advise that he just get some rest. He does have a fever, so we'll give him some meds just to bring down his temperature. But otherwise, he is absolutely fine. Well done, James White. Look at this queue. Not the best. We can see as well. Now, I'm actually working on specialist mode. So if there are flashing symptoms, I'm not going to know about them. But the telltale sign when you're looking at them is if they've got their arms crossed. If their arms are crossed, then you know they have a pulsating symptom. So we are going to start going through the list, because I'm thinking most of them would have arrived by now. So I'm going to start going through it and finding the ones with their arms crossed, because it looks like this lady does as well. And we're going to be putting those ones onto a code blue. We are going to send her straight to infectious diseases for isolation, and also something to just bring her temperature down. And I think this is going to be, look, she's not actually made it in yet. I think this is going to be a fairly sensible way of moving forwards. So I mean, he's going to be going to emergency, because he has now collapsed. But we can just click on here and we can start. Oh look, he's been dealt with, and we can just start looking through. So she's one that has collapsed. So, you know, that's being dealt with. They've been confirmed and he is undergoing stabilization. This Daniel here is another one who collapsed by the looks of it. So we're going to put them on a code blue. Let's have a look at Jane. Jane Garcia hasn't turned up yet. Can we see her? No. So we don't know about Jane yet. We've dealt with Carol. What about this Jordan? Jordan hasn't turned up yet, but we can see him. He doesn't have his arms crossed, so I'm not going to worry about him too much. We've got Karen here. Let's have a look at Karen. Karen looks to have her arms crossed, so we are going to turn that on. Give her a code blue. We've done a code blue here. Robert Walker hasn't arrived yet. Fraser, no. John Foster is with us. He has a hydration problem. Has he collapsed? Yes, and they've actually gone and dealt with him. Let's put him on a code blue. Fraser, no. John, right. Now then we've got Jennifer hasn't arrived yet. Brooke hasn't arrived yet. Kate hasn't arrived yet. And look, we now have a scroll bar. Isn't that the best? So Kate Smith, they've not arrived. I've put them on a high. So it seems like as we get further down the list, these guys haven't arrived just yet. He's already on a code blue. Fair enough. Well done, Jordan. What else have we got going on down here? So she's around. Dana. She looks all right, though. Dana looks all right, so I'm not going to worry about Dana. Linda's not arrived. Casey. Casey's not got his arms crossed. He's not having the best situation. But he's fairly okay in the grand scheme of things, and these two haven't arrived yet. Okay, so we are working on it. And we've got a new collapse message for Jordan here, who we sent, I think, to emergency, or was on his way. And he's collapsed on his way. No, but we've asked for rehydration. We'll also ask for that physical. Okay. Taking steps. What's this woman doing? Just standing here. Don't know. We're not going to put her on blue alert, though. She's not crossing her arms, so she's not got any flashing symptoms. But an odd location. This must be like serious overflow from here. Surely this is the burns unit, though. Because the waiting area for all of this is here. It's very weird. Why are they waiting here? Who are they waiting for? It looks like they are waiting for emergency. I don't know why they're here. They should be sitting out here. So something's going wrong on the update there, because they should not be standing here at all. Unless, because they're part of a human malware thing, they deliberately stand in a different place. I can't see that being a thing. It's very bizarre. I don't understand why they're standing here at all. That never used to happen. We've had another patient arrive through the emergency door. Jane Garcia here. So what we will do is all the usual business. Although we do have, look, we need to give her some oxygen. They're already going to give her something for the high fever. So that would make, Jane makes 4. Barbara will be, yeah, I've already marked her as somebody with it. So we've got 4 confirmed at the moment. We're just doing sort of normal tests on some of the other patients. All these patients are waiting around, basically. So I've done a physical here. It's told us nothing. I think I'm going to do a nasal cavity search here, because we're seeing some nasally things. Really, we are seeing a bunch of nasally things. So we should probably do that. We could also do with temperature. Taking her temperature would be a good idea. And also listening to her chest for her breathing. So this guy here, we can see. What we want to know is which one does he have the quickest way possible, really. The quickest way possible. Well, not terribly easy. We're going to listen to his chest. See if there's any air trapped in there. Let's see how these go, and take his temperature as well. We are going to do that. We have the same situation here actually with Elizabeth Wilson. It is exactly the same. So we're going to do the same thing of tests. Just see, and her arms are crossed, so she's definitely got a pulsating symptom here as well. So we do need to try and unearth them if we can. So she's probably okay to go home, although there is an unknown symptom which I would like to find. See if we can get this up to 5 stars. I mean, we could just give her painkillers, but I think it's always good practice to try and find out exactly what is going on. The temperature came back negative, but we could listen to her chest, see if she's wheezing, anything like that. That might be good. Yes, this is a slightly tricky one. I want to get to the answer as quickly as possible. So I think we can see there are some wheezing options here. Oh, abdominal pains, we could check for that. Also chest pain. See if we can whittle this down just a little bit more, because of course I can't do a differential on trauma. So we'll try some quick easy tests to see if we can find, just narrow them down a little bit more. Nasal cavity is a failure. Let's take temperature, and we'll also do oral cavity inspection as well. Indeed we will. We've confirmed that Daniel is indeed infected, so let's deal with this high temperature right here. But with that done, we are going to send him to the infectious diseases right away for his treatment. So that's like 5 or 6 of them that have been confirmed and are on their way. Oh, Karen does indeed have chest pain. That's not nice. Let's give her some painkillers for that. We'll also tell her to get a little rest as well. Indeed. There we go. But I think she will be fine now, I believe. I think so. She's got her antibiotics. Oh, Jordan Brown. Okay. Time to get him then to infectious diseases for his treatment. I don't know how many we've got piling up in that department now. We should still have plenty of room though, to be honest. Let's do... we did do an oral cavity search, look, and it's helped us just narrow this down to 2 possible things. Let's do an ear examination. The temperature came back as negative. I'm not sure what else. So we could, yeah. Well, we might have to do... Ooh, neck palpitations. Although she is also able to do a differential here, so that might be something that we do. But we'll do all the tests that we can do in the GP office first, except possibly this, because the discomfort is quite high. Does our doctor... does not cause discomfort during examinations? Well, that's lucky, so we'll do that as well. That might help us find it. Tricky one here. Let's take a temperature. That could help. Also, what's this? The CRP. Yeah, CRP test could be quite good to help us locate this without doing any extensive testing. So we'll get on and do that. Elizabeth has come down to a similar situation, so we're going to do a CRP. We're also going to do speech listening for confusion, although that could again give us an indication of either, but we might need to start looking at more detailed exams for Elizabeth, maybe like a chest x-ray, something like that might need to happen. Yeah, so we've got the situation here where these tests, they didn't help us distinguish what's going on here. So I think I am going to take a microbile on this. So we're going to do that first. And I think I will also start this testing. Those labs are just going to have to start getting busy. And then after that, we're going to... So once we've done these 2 tests, we've taken these samples, we're going to send her straight for a chest x-ray, I think, as well. Just get it all going. I think that's going to be the best thing. No messing. No messing. Oh, this lady's coming with high fever. Looks like I've already dealt with her, though. Yeah, so I am going to just get through the masses like this. Just a lot of this until I've got them all somewhere. Although if I encounter any particular issues, I will, of course, include it. You can see more patients coming in with crossed arms, so we are sticking them on code blue. We are getting more and more patients collapsing. Okay, but we are also running out of space in our trauma department. Not much I can do about that. So this lady might be spending some time on the floor. I could send her to the ICU. In fact, I might send this lady to the ICU because we've still got room in the ICU, and they again wear masks and that. So a few of them have started to go up there now because you know, we're pretty full here. But we're still getting them in. Nobody's being ignored just yet. It is all still happening. So this we've got respiratory failure here. So let's deal with that. I don't want her to go to the ICU. I'm very keen to try and stabilise her so we can send her to the infectious diseases department. That's what I would like to do. Like Robert here. Okay. So if you go now to the infectious diseases, so we can open up this space, that would be great. That would make me happy. Yeah, we managed to stabilise her, so she is now going to the infectious diseases department. Let's just have a look at our infectious diseases department. How are they actually faring? Yeah, look, okay. The beds are filling up fast, particularly these isolation. These are starting to fill up. It doesn't look like it, but it's just taking time for them to get there. But he's saying 9 out of 12. Nurses station is critical. I bet. Okay, probably do have space to employ more. But yeah, look, we only have 2 transport nurses here. Do you know what? I think I will get another day and night. I don't want to get too much staff because this is going to be a brief blip. But yeah, I think I will just get a couple of more to move patients around. What is nice is the patients have now stopped queuing here and they've all sat down here. So there was a moment of confusion, but it's working now. They are all exactly where they're supposed to be and emptied out these corridors. So pleased about that. That's worked. Sorted itself out. I'm pleased. Here it is then. So we have got the first situation where we don't have an ICU bed available. Our ICU is absolutely maxed out. Look, in fact, there's 2 people that need to go there than we actually have space for. So this is where I really need to start sorting out my overflow ward. You can see here that I have come up with a design for a room to repeat around here. I haven't worked out the layout yet. The idea is there is enough space here and space for equipment to make it so that each individual room can be an ICU ward in itself. But it is also going to need some staff over here in terms of dealing with those that are here without getting too much running back and forth, although luckily is close to the ICU to allow for it. But this design of ward also means it's quite easy for me to swap things out so that the individual room could be any kind of ward, be it isolation for the Department of Infectious Diseases, or, you know, I don't know, a general surgery ward room. So that's what I need to do now, I think, is start turning this into a temporary ICU. So yeah, that's my next job. I think this is it. I haven't done any signage yet. What we need to do is employ some additional staff just to look after the area. I'm also not going to worry about the janitorial aspects either, because of course any staff that I employ here will probably end up getting sacked and all this, these rooms removed, so it will become sort of, yeah, very much an overflow thing, and as I say, these have been designed in such a way that you can make this as an overflow for any ward type. But right now I think we are going to favour ICU in its entirety. And what we are also going to want to do is make this biohazard. So we're going to make sure that everybody in these areas attending to them is biohazard, and they still have access to their lab and whatnot over here, and we can always up janitors to look after this area. It's not the end of the world. Right, let me get some staff in. So I've gone for 2 transfer nurses, 2 doctors and 2 care nurses. Now you'll note that they're all daytime, and that's probably because I will switch the same staff to nighttime when the night shift comes, which is very shortly. So that's probably what we're going to do there. So this should now result in being able to get some more patients moving. Can you see that? We can see instantly we're starting to empty out trauma just a little bit, which is absolutely fantastic. So look, really pleased that I built the ICU, because Robert Walker here has just started to collapse. So, you know, it is really great that we've got space now for him to go to the ICU, because that's exactly where they're going to need him to go. Yeah, and you can see here that the staff are so overrun that they're not actually getting round to the patients on here. If we have a look at this department, we're full on doctors, but we could totally get a couple of extra care nurses maybe, but it is the doctor situation that we are struggling with. Look how many patients they've got, and they're so tired. I guess we'll just it's only one day, she says. We're starting to see them rush them into here. Look, overflow in full effect, because we do have we have got into a situation where we really need them in ICU now. Lots of them going through to the ICU. Lots of pinging. Don't know what to do with this patient while they wait. They are, I guess, going to have to stay there, because they really could be going to either department. I've got a load of tests going for them. So they've had their complex therapy. We can see we've got some unknown symptoms. We've also got some breathing problems there. So given that we also have some unknowns here, I think we need to have a look at some examinations that we can do. So here we've got this one. Is this confusion? Yeah, so possibly speech listening. We should have found these sorts of things if they exist, except possibly that, but I don't think that would be causing any upset. We are going to do these bits and bobs, see if we can just figure out what's missing. That might be nice. He's had his rehydration after his collapse. So again, we've got a situation where we need to figure out what's going on with this guy. So we are going to do a round of various tests. But what I am noting is we are starting to get patients that have been diagnosed and have been successfully treated, and I'm just sort of trying to figure out what's left, you know, to find. I mean, he's not actually received any kind of physical at the moment, so we're just going to do all these tests because we've got an unknown symptom here and a little discomfort, so we are just going to work through them, although we'll give him some painkillers for his chest pain that he's experiencing. Yeah, these 3 beds now filled with infected patients. Look, the overflow is working. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This gentleman here on the end, he's had his treatment. Let's help with his breathing. Now, he's also had absolutely no examinations, so we're going to get all those done. The usual lot that I like to do, just to make sure we found everything that we possibly can. So this lady's been waiting far too long, so she will go straight to the ICU, but at least we have space now. Lab result came back for John Foster here. He indeed does have human malware, so we are going to send him for treatment. Let's bring that fever down as well. We are going to want to interview him, so we can now get him out of the trauma centre, which will be really quite fantastic. Daniel here seems to be all sorted off. We're going to take him off code blue, and I'm actually going to take away control as well. So if they've been hospitalised, and they've got so far through the process, haven't they? Let's have a look. What have we got here? So this lady, this is an interesting mix of things, isn't it? She looks like she's getting close to being examined. She's going to the doctor right now. So this patient is still very much waiting. I'm just wondering, because we can always send them to different departments. Like, there's nothing going on in general surgery, so we could always see about sending them to general surgery. This guy just needs some antibiotics, which I'm assuming he can get, from any office. So once again, we could just send him to a different department just to take the edge off. Mind you, he's been examined. Where is he? Oh, look, he's right there. Actually, no. So they can just give him the antibiotics right here. Look, he does have some other pains, so we're going to deal with that. But he's going to be sent home shortly. Right. They are in the process of having some tests. I think either way they are going to need to be hospitalised. We just don't know what department they're going to, but at least it's in the works. Same here with Lisa Green. So even though these people haven't been hospitalised, we're very much in the dregs of those coming in. The only person who straight up has not been seen is Dana here, who I'm now going to send to general surgery just so she's right at the front of the queue. Now I'm aware I've got somebody waiting in trauma for a bed in isolation. So what I'm going to do is move somebody who's low risk, which I think is going to be this gentleman. So we're going to send this guy to the ICU. The reason I'm not sending the high risk to the ICU, which in a way, they've got bird flu, which in a way could be worth doing, is just because when you move them, you risk them crashing. Obviously, I'd like to try and keep that risk down. So this should help now with getting Susan into a bed and getting treated. Same with this gentleman over here. We have a similar situation. He's waiting for a bed, so we've moved 2 out now, or we will do, and then they can get shifted, get their treatment. We also have somebody here. They're a completely different situation, so we don't need to worry about them. Yeah, look, we're getting patients into trauma now that are unrelated to this emergency, which is fantastic. Yes. So we're getting into a situation now where they've had their main treatment, and I'm just sort of starting to, have a cleanup of other bits and bobs we can be giving them to increase their comfort. But everybody has a bed. Everybody is in. We've had one patient rage quit. But they weren't part of the emergency. I don't recall seeing the notifications say they were going to do that, but there's been quite a lot of notifications, so it's possible I just missed it. So that's a little bit of a shame, but not the end of the world, because we're doing really well with this emergency. Like it's totally a thing that is happening. We've had a staff changeover. What's nice with the staff changeover now is since the update, the next shift of staff that are due to come in should arrive early now, rather than there being a gap where there's no staff taking care of patients. They've made it so that next shift, I think, arrive an hour earlier than they used to, so that you always have staff in the hospital. So that's really nice. We're down to our final 3 patients. This one, she had a chest x-ray, so I know it's not pneumonia. I want her to, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. She won't go. This gentleman, we're just waiting for him to get his treatment, and also Susan, we're just waiting for her to get her treatment. Looks like we've just had somebody crash. On an unrelated note, I'll come back to that. So yeah, the only real worry is Elizabeth Wilson here. I know that she has this, and I can't. She's going to collapse. I think ultimately that's what we're going to have to wait for in order for her to go to the ICU, because I can't seem to stop her for waiting for these test results. A little aggravating, but there we are. Whereas at least these 2 are in the departments waiting for the treatment. We're almost there. So what I've done now is I've decided to send her to trauma, because it's becoming a nightmare. She's had her results though, so we've been able to confirm this, but I've removed the final diagnosis. I've sent her to emergency, and I've sent her to the trauma hospitalization. I'm going to try and deal with it that way. She has made it. So we are now going to give her the final diagnosis, send her to the ICU, and get her the treatment that she sorely needs. The only other person that hasn't been treated is John. I'm thinking it's just, just waiting for doctors to be available. Oh, there it is. He's got it. He's had it. There we go. I will take that. Thank you very much. So we are now just waiting on Elizabeth, and then it is done. Amazingly, we have had an epidemic outbreak right at the end, and it was MERS. He's been here ages, so he's been waiting to go to infectious diseases, and I simply didn't see him, and that's the problem with this room, which is why I often change this to a hallway to favour them up here. So we'll send him to ICU to get his therapy. That was an oversight. Yeah, so 2 days left of that where everybody is moving slow. There's no free bed. There is. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there is. I don't think all these are full by any stretch of the imagination. No. I mean, there's a lot of people in here, but it's not full. That is a lie. Transported to room. Yeah, I was about to say, it is a complete and utter lie. We did it! We did it! Excellent. Did she? Yeah, she did. Look at that. Look at that. That's fantastic. Okay. Wow. Did that register as 1? It did. We've done 1 epidemic event. Now, we're going to give it a day, just so the hospital empties out a little bit before we trigger another one. But yeah, that went pretty well. Only 1 person left, and they weren't part of that event. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my Patreons for their continued support.